Well, made a video last week that I thought was very interesting. A video I was proud to make. But alas, it seems that to most of y'all, the most interesting part of that video was how I move big rocks around. So let's talk about it. The work I try and do with these videos is to help people who want to transition to an off-grid living and homesteading sort of lifestyle. Now, secretly, I've been working on my second book on the subject, and it's all about breaking down the skills you need to be successful at this lifestyle to their most simple, basic first principles. And one of those first principles is determine the simplest viable solution to the problem and try that first. And only then add in the minimum amount of additional complexities to make it work better. I had a bunch of these large rocks and I needed them moved out of the work area without them tearing up the ground. So I thought to myself, what's the simplest solution to this problem? Because of their oddly familiar potato shape, I knew that rolling them out of the way was going to be more work than I wanted to put into this job. So I thought I could just wrap a chain around them and pull them out of the way. But I didn't have the strength to move it. I needed a lever. So I got this large rock breaking bar and was able to move it a few inches. But because it was so heavy, it dug into the ground, causing additional resistance and making it so I was going to tear up the floor back there. But then I remembered I had seen an old logger use an A-frame to drag a pretty big log through the forest under his own power. So I got these two pipes, but they don't have any way to connect each other to make an A-frame. And I found this, smaller pipes that had a 90-degree elbow connecting them. And then I put that in there and that in there. Now I have an A-frame. And all this is doing is creating a lever that applies force in a different direction. So not straight forward, but up and over. Then all I had to do is take that chain that was wrapped around the rock from earlier, wrap it around this pipe, kind of so that it supports itself. Now, I can move this big rock. And when it gets to here, move it around. If you just want to lift it up and turn it, it takes very little power to be able to do that. I imagine that rock weighs about probably 400 pounds, and that's how you do it. I've moved all kinds of things with this simple contraption that I didn't have the strength to move without it, like big rocks, big old logs. Moved a generator once. It even works to move stubborn adolescents. It was the simplest solution with minimal complexity added, and it improved my ability to do work and the conditions under which I did that work from that point forward. Best part, it cost me nothing. We live in a world where either through regulation or proprietary equipment marketing, we're often convinced that the solution to a problem is some complex product or service, and oftentimes we can't afford it. So the problem just sits there unsolved. And that is what I love about off-grid living and homesteading. It's a lifestyle where we get to flex our problem-solving muscles and rewire our thinking from not solving the problem because we can't afford the solution to doing what needs doing by using basic, simple first principles to solve the problem. And I enjoy that. And if you enjoy stuff like that, maybe this lifestyle's for you too.